Insomnia is a condition where a person is having difficulties in falling asleep or staying asleep, even when he can do so. So herein the person is willing but unable to sleep. Compared to the previous video, we talked about sleep deprivation, where the person is unwilling but able to. So he's sleep depriving, which is sort of voluntary, and here he is wanting to sleep but is not able to get to sleep, have that quality and quantity of sleep that is required. Importantly, insomnia also means that the person wakes up feeling unrefreshed, tired and exhausted, and suffers other consequences through the daytime, which includes tiredness, feeling muddled, and feeling lethargic. Insomnia can be short and long-term insomnia. Short-term insomnia are common, we all experience it. Having difficulties in sleep the night before exams, the night before the interview, or when you're expecting something to happen, whether good or bad, the following day, then you can't sleep very well. They tend to be passing sleep disturbance, so you tend to recover soon afterwards and have normal, natural sleep. Long-term insomnia is what we are concerned about clinically. And when we look at long-term insomnia, we are simply looking at somebody having sleep disturbances at least for 3 nights per week for 2 to 3 months. This is when it starts to affect his functioning and his ability to have a good, productive day. Causes of insomnia can be many. I think in my clinical practice, I noticed that most common causes of insomnia are lifestyle. It's what we do to ourselves. For example, having too much of stimulant substances like coffee and tea and fizzy drinks, nicotine, which is seen in cigarettes, alcohol, they all stimulate and activate the brain, thereby confusing it and preventing one to have natural sleep. So that needs correcting in order to bring about changes. Other common conditions that we see in practice is emotional disturbances or psychiatric disorders like anxiety, panic attacks and depression, which causes significant sleep disturbances. And then once the sleep is disturbed, then you have further negative consequences on the mood. There are some things that people can do to bring about changes in the sleep. For example, prioritizing the sleep, ensuring the adequate quantity of sleep by scheduling sleep time and wake up time, avoiding certain foods like coffee, tea, fizzy drinks, nicotine, alcohol. Importantly, having a structured sleep hygiene, which is having a clear environmental manipulation, making sure the room is ready for you to sleep, having adequate darkness in the room. But in the daytime, you can also try and get yourself a little active so that the body can earn the sleep. For example, by doing exercise and exposing yourself to sufficient sunlight so that the internal sleep-wake rhythm is maintained. When sleep disturbances are significant, there are other things that you can use. For example, you can take sleeping medications such as hypnotics and mild tranquilizers to help you to calm down, to bring back the rhythm of sleep and wake. You have to remember that these hypnotics and tranquilizers are addictive, therefore taken for a very short duration of time and under medical supervision. In some cases, behavioral therapy is very helpful, wherein you relearn to change your behavior along the sleeping time. So the routine, the ritual at night, the waking time, and so on. And also to think differently about the sleep patterns, what we call as cognitive behavioral therapy. There's one other method that is commonly used is stimulus control, wherein you help the person relearn the association between sleep and bed. So if you're struggling to sleep in bed, and if you struggle for more than 20 minutes, then you should leave the bed and do something else and only go back to bed when you're ready to sleep. That way, the relationship changes and your anxiety of not being able to sleep in that bed changes and transforms over time. All in all, everybody needs to have a good quality and quantity of sleep, without which the quality of life will be severely affected. Please remember, insomnia is very common and treatable condition, and one should be very serious in taking necessary measures in bringing about changes in their lifestyle, consulting psychologists and psychiatrists for appropriate treatment, which will include medicines and psychotherapy. Insomnia can be caused by a number of medical, psychiatric and lifestyle conditions, but it's also important to remember that insomnia itself can worsen those very conditions. So I would urge people to take notice of it and have it addressed at the earliest. Thank you.